Isn't it real good to be back to a high school football once again? Here from Noonan Field in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hillsborough High School Raider football here on the HSG Network as we're ready for the NJSI AA opener, the Hillsborough Raiders and the East Brunswick Bears. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Wilkins. We're going to get our color guy here in just a moment, just getting things set up here. Please don't mind the mess. I know there were a few people who were wondering what happened to the audio. The reason why we didn't have any audio early was because they had to do the playing of our national anthem, which is copyrighted, and YouTube will shut us down if we played it. However, we were assured that in 2 weeks' time, you'll hear the Pride of Hillsborough Raider marching band play that in our September 16th broadcast against Ridge. But in the meantime, we're getting ready for another great year of high school football. And Rich, glad you're here with us and getting ready for Hillsborough, East Brunswick. What do you say?
Glad to be here, Tom. Just in time for kickoff.
You're just in the nick of time, too. Hillsborough, of course, coming off a Group 5 championship and a historic 13-0 season. The East Brunswick Bears, which are in white with dark green pants and white helmets, coming off an 8-2 season last year. They lost to Toms River North in the playoffs 28-14. More impressively, East Brunswick did it all on the road, and I'll explain why in a little bit.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, East Brunswick gets the ball. They'll go right to left, Hillsborough left to right. We switch sides during the second quarter. So let's get this thing underway as the kickoff is headed over to the far side and taken at about the 9-yard line. Going to about the 20. He'll push his way to close to the 30-yard line, and that is where East Brunswick will start, probably about the 28, Rich.
Great close by the kickoff team there on the running back. He had a little seam there, but it was closed up quickly.
By the way, the return was by one of the running backs, Will Gelino, a 5'10 junior who's not only a running back, but also plays defensive back in some cases here.
Here we're coming out now. It looks like they're in the full house backfield, Tom. I haven't seen that in years.
Well, here we go on 1st and 10 for the 27. They're going to hand this one up the middle, and not much at all, because that door closed very quickly thanks to Shane Powell was able to stop the running back Gelino for maybe a yard on the play.
Yeah, 26 had a nice lead block initially, but the pursuit from the defense finished it off, cut the gap short, and he had nowhere to go.
All right, you just joined us. We're in the opening drive of this game, East Brunswick ball, with a 2nd and 8 coming up at the 29-yard line. Here's another sweep out to the left to about the 30, 31, and that's about it. That's Jackson Jankowitz, the sophomore, with the stop, but it forces a 3rd and 6 coming up for the Bears.
Great call outside, but even better play by the defense as they kept outside contained and led the runner to the linebackers who were sliding over.
All right, so it'll be 3rd and 6. The ball is on the near hash mark. The top of the ball touching the 31-yard line, and the Hillsborough faithful chanting for defense. Hillsborough returning a lot of starters on defense this year. They're expected to try and be better than they have. Here's the snap, and there's trouble, and down he goes. Wow. A great sack by the senior Joey Witcoski, sacking Ben Salamini, the quarterback for the East Brunswick Bears. Salamini, also a senior. Not exactly the start East Brunswick wanted. They're going 3 and out. It looks like they'll be punting.
Well, they're expecting a lot from Witkoski this year. He's already starting off the season with a great play there. He stayed home. He didn't get sucked in by the fake. Great job. That's good coaching, and that's good instinct.
And I also think there could also be a case of maybe there was a missed block somewhere, which caused him to get so wide open, and Salamini was in no man's land.
I have to tell you, sometimes we depend on that guy feeding inside and letting the outside open, but he stayed home.
All right, so East Brunswick will punt. Punter is standing at his own 10-yard line. Remember, a little bit of a twilight here as we've opened September, and it's a short punt. Let's see where it bounces. It goes, it's touched at the 49-yard line by East Brunswick, and that's where Hillsborough will start.
Great job by Kevin Shelton, the number 14, just to let it go.
All right, well, you're actually taking a look in the southwest part I'm Tom here. There's Rich to my left here for those of you watching.
Hi, Mom.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, Dad, too. Hi, Dad.
Well, and those of you watching, welcome aboard, and thanks for supporting the HSG Network. And obviously, please subscribe to us because we've got plenty more things, not just high school football, but lots of other events coming this fall. So get the word out for HSG Network. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. All right, 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Here is Ryan Tasetano calling his own number, and he's going to get to the 40 and down to about the 36 probably. Ryan Tasetano taking over for James Meszaros, who had a sensational year last year. That's a gain of 16 and a 1st and 10 for Hillsborough.
I can tell you right now, that was a scripted play. They knew already what that defense was going to call and who was going to be available on the outside. It was wide open.
All right, well, after that 16-yard pickup, up-tempo for the Raiders. They go in an I formation here.
Got trips right.
A 4-receiver set, 1st and 10 from the 35. And this is going to be a run and some nice yardage down to the 31-yard line. And that's Dominick Monsorno, the senior, with the carry at a 4-yard gain.
And that was 71, the big guy, Omar Rackley. He was in there who tripped him up.
And that's one guy we have to watch for East Brunswick. This is a very talented young man on both sides of the ball. 2nd and 7 from the 32. It looks like Monsorno again, and this time nothing doing as the Bear defense closes in and literally forces no gain on the play and forces a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, it looked like you had number 71, but also a lot of help from number 77. John Montellaro was on that play.
Looks like Montellaro, the junior.
Montellaro, there you go.
We'll get it. Hey, we're looking at these.
Tomato, exactly.
Never mind. I have pizza on the way home. 3rd and 7 from the 32. Tasetano in the shotgun.
Big down here.
Let's see what happens. Good snap, looking, quick throw. Pass is caught for a 1st down to 25 and down to about the 22-yard line.
Number 10
that is Jack O'Donnell, the senior, grabbing that and moving the change for Hillsborough.
Great timing route. It was a hitch route to the outside. It got right past the 1st down marker. Excellent call.
Ball spot at the 22-yard line. And we'll see what Hillsborough does next. Not bad. 2 first downs on the opening drive of this 2022 season.
I tell you, the defense needs to get their hands up because the quarterback is not very tall, and he's firing that ball off.
All right, 1st and 10 for the 22 is Tasetano. We'll take it, and this is an inside handoff, but East Brunswick's ready, and maybe a couple of yards to about the 19-yard line. We'll see if they spot the ball.
Yeah, they tried a trap play on that, actually, and the linebacker just followed the guard and came right through.
Tobias Newberger with the stop. So Hillsborough reaches the red zone for the first time around the edge, 2nd and 8 from the 20. A lot of times Hillsborough, they definitely they get the calls from the sidelines. Of course, head coach Kevin Carty making the signals to Tasetano, making sure everyone is lined up correctly. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. We had a screen go out on this.
Pull it.
Anyway, 2nd and 8. Here's Tasetano back. He's going to roll right. He's being chased. He may have to run. He's going for the end zone. And it is caught.
Wow.
Welcome to the end zone. What a way to clear the area. Shane Donoghue right in the back corner. He just barely got a foot down and is able to get the first score of the year for the Hillsborough Raiders.
Wow, what an excellent throw. He had the room to run, but he actually threw it to the pylon, to the back of the pylon where you're told to throw it, let the receiver go get it. And the defensive back's mistake was he's watching the ball, not going to where the ball's going to be thrown to.
Tasetano is how it's pronounced. All right. Don't worry. I had trouble with Meszaros so many times last year, so this is no different.
Just don't call him Pinky Tuscadero. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
Well, anyway, East Brunswick is offside on the conversion, so now Hillsborough gets to choose whether they kick the extra point or try a 2-point conversion from half the distance.
What a great catch in the back of the end zone. He dragged his feet to.
All right, well, we're going to get the extra point, which I believe that is Sam Meekin, the senior, and Tasetano will hold, so I'm getting some practice here.
You're doing good, man.
All right, here's the snap. Kick on its way, and an easy one. 7-0 Raiders over the Bears with 7:05 left in the first. While we show a quick replay on Tasetano's great touchdown throw to Shane Donoghue, who has shades of a graduate of Will Dixon from last year. What happened here, Rich?
Yeah, if you see it, the quarterback's going to be rolling out to the right. He's waiting for the receiver to get to the corner, to the back of the pylon, where he's going one-on-one with the corner. There's very little safety help because he held him up, and that back of the pylon throw dragged his back foot. Excellent job.
Oh, man, that was close. But he got the call,
Yep.
and Hillsborough ends up taking the 7-0 lead. Just a reminder, you saw the replay presented by Pez Electric, which started when founder Vincent Pez was only 15 years old. That's when he began working with his father in the electrical field and put him on the path to becoming a polished, licensed, and accomplished professional contractor. He founded the company in 1990 as its sole employee, but his skills soon attracted other expert technicians. Check out Pez Electric at PEZZelectric.com or call 908-281-7399.
I tell you, Tom, it'll be interesting to see East Brunswick's response. It's the first game of the year, big play on the big drive, first drive. And their response will tell us a lot.
All right, Meekin will kick off. He just, of course, came through with the first extra point of the year. And now the kickoff again to the far side, taken at about the 10-yard line. And trying to move over to the right, and not happening there.
He got those happy feet.
Oh, my goodness. That, again, Will Gelano, the junior, ended up trying to backtrack and get some room, but Hillsborough special teams closed in so quickly that they were able to stop things, and East Brunswick will start 1st and 10 about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, big mistake on the kick return here. Once you get going, just make them chase you, make them run you down. Do not cut back that side.
All right, so as we take a look in the booth once again, obviously what we're seeing here is a great start by Hillsborough and East Brunswick trying to respond to Hillsborough's touchdown here. Hopefully I can lean in so you can see for a moment. All right, here's a handoff and crossing the 20 to about that looks like it's going to be a keeper for Salamini, the senior quarterback. So we get to gain of 2. John Lobelo, the junior, stops him, and it's a 2nd and 8. By the way, East Brunswick, they're used to playing on the road. Did you know last year every game they played was on the road?
Absolutely, yes.
They won't be back home until 15 days from now, September 16th against South Brunswick. And the reason for that, bad turf and, of course, damage from prior storms such as Henry and even Hurricane Ida from last year caused the turf to be unplayable. They are really looking forward to getting back home in about 2 weeks' time when they play South Brunswick. Meanwhile, we have a flag down on 2nd down. It's going to be a false start on East Brunswick, so somebody moved on the line.
Yeah, it looks like they were running that. They were trying to set a run for a jet outside, but the left tackle moved a little too soon.
So what's Hillsborough doing on defense, Rich, that's confusing East Brunswick early?
Well, they started out with a 4-3, but I saw a 5-2 on that last play right before the whistle blew. So I think they're going to mix it up. They seem to maintain with one safety high, the strong safety coming down. And, yeah, here they go again. Now they're back to the forefront.
Well, Hillsborough was trying to get themselves set. Here's a handoff up the middle, and that's going to get them a couple of yards. Kind of like maybe back to the original line of scrimmage where they were the last play, and got the 5 yards right back to the 20. And I believe that was Newberger with the carries for a gain of 5. So it forces a 3rd and 7. Now, you mentioned a 5-2. How often is that played on defense?
Not often, but it depends on the formation of the offense. This East Brunswick team run the ball pretty well, and they sometimes come with 2 tight ends, but right? So that's where the 5-2 will come in handy.
Well, they're going to go spread here on 3rd and 7. Back is Solomon. He's going to take off himself, and he's going to end up being short of a 1st down. We'll see if they spot this one. He actually, a good stop on the part of Logan Press, the senior, and it looks like they only got to about the 24-yard line. So they're about 4 yards short, and East Brunswick's going to have to punt again.
Yeah, definitely a punting situation. There's nothing you can do about that. I was a little weird on that call there. I felt like they need some timing passes. They're trying to get him to roll out, and he has a height disadvantage, unfortunately, and you really can't see over the line.
Well, he's 5'10", which I don't know necessarily is usually the average height for quarterbacks. Might be a little less, but 1-0. But in the meantime, East Brunswick's going to use their first timeout of the half.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess we'll take a break here with 5:10 left in the
Sounds
first.
good.
It's 7-0 Hillsborough over East Brunswick, and we'll be back in a moment.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Okay, East Brunswick punting after their timeout as there's a snap and another short kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. It might be plus territory for Hillsborough at the 42-yard line. So only an 18-yard punt. And obviously it doesn't do East Brunswick very well because Hillsborough had a short field of 51 yards. They were able to march down the field and get a touchdown literally 6 plays.
Yeah.
Let's see what Hillsborough can do for an encore on this drive. Basically an encore for the season. I'm coming off an unbelievable 13-0 season, a Group 5 championship, and literally all but one game, they weren't really tested.
Absolutely.
All right. Tasetano is in the shotgun here on 1st and 10. East Brunswick showing blitz and a bad snap.
That's all it takes.
And down he goes at about the 43. So somehow the center and the quarterback had a missed exchange, but Tasetano falls under. Going to give him the 45-yard line. Ends up being a 13-yard loss in the play. A rare mistake by this Hillsborough team.
Tom, these are the unexpected points in football that people and coaches especially cannot prepare for. When you get bad snaps, you get turnovers. These are things that don't go well. But they still have the ball, and they still have a chance to move the ball.
And it's worse than a holding penalty.
Absolutely.
So it's 2nd and 23. Hillsborough at their own 45-yard line. They'll triple the right and a 4-receiver set. Tasetano back. He's being chased. Down he goes.
Yeah, they sent the house on that one.
At the 41-yard line, the sack by Derek Christie, the junior. He came out running and ended up flattening Tasetano for another loss of, I believe, 4. So 3rd and extremely long for the Raiders. Something that they didn't really face much last year.
No, listen, they sent the Sam and the Mike linebacker on that one. The quarterback ran right into the Mike linebacker as he was blitzing, trying to avoid the Sam. So hello, Mike, and goodbye, Sam. Sack for East Brunswick.
Well, head coach Andy Steinfeld definitely sending some different packages for the Bears defense here. Same formation now on 3rd and 27. Back goes Tasetano. He's going to be running, and he came to a stop, only to be flattened again. This time, that's C.J. Garner, the senior, with a sack.
Seniors, that guy, number 8, is no joke. He's got college prospects already, trust me. If he keeps playing like this, it may be a good senior year for him.
Well, so unfortunately, losses on all 3 plays for Hillsborough, and they will definitely punt. I believe that will be Joey Diorio, the senior, that will be punting, standing about the 16-yard line.
East Brunswick has a good chance to turn the field position around.
Yeah, always good to flip the field if they're able to do it, but they need to get a good. But Hillsborough needs to get a good snap here, and they do. They're coming. And he got a low punt away and a low ground ball that gets by the returner, and he is smart enough to get out of the way, and Hillsborough downs it at the 25-yard line.
He never touched it.
Josh Augustine, the senior, was supposed to return, but realized it was such a low punt, and the Hillsborough special teams are coming right after it. He's like, this ground ball, I'm like, I am not touching it.
Well, you got to give the senior credit on it. That was actually a smart play. Had he tried to pick that up, he may have gotten hit and fumbled the ball.
It would have been disastrous, and we have seen that a lot of times where people think they can make the play and then they fumble the ball, and then all of a sudden it literally changes the outcome of the game at times.
Absolutely, and that's why the coach had the senior back there.
All right, so 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Again, East Brunswick quarterback Ben Solomini in the shotgun this time in a pro set. A high snap. They're going to sweep. No, it's going to be a call for Solomini, who gets to about the 32-yard line.
Well, Number 11.
Good tackle by Tyler VanCleef, who we called a few times last year, and the junior now stepping up to a much higher prominent role for this Hillsborough defense.
Quarterback showing a little bit of trickery there, but he hides the ball well. Sometimes the height disadvantage is actually an advantage, depending on the call.
Well, you got the run pass option. You just don't know if they're going to pull a jet sweep or just run up the middle.
Exactly.
So you never know, but East Brunswick, they've had a couple of nice plays in the last couple of minutes, so you just build on the positives here. All right, second and look, they're going 4 receivers, tripling the near side. Another high snap. This time there's a handoff, and going to about the 34-yard line. Looks like Shane Powell was the one with the stop. Kevon Freeman, the running back that time, just a little short of a first down. So what do you expect to happen, Rich, on a 3rd and a yard?
Well, the timing on that play really made it bad, but I would just go with it. I would send number 3 right behind the running back again, because that's been a successful play. They've been getting 2 to 5 yards on that play with the quarterback keeper right off the left or the right side of the guard.
All right, under a minute and a half left in the first. Now looks like they're going to go 3 wide slot left here on 3rd and a yard. And this is a keeper, and reaching out is Solomini. We'll see where they spot it. He looks like he might be a foot short, depending on what the spot is.
That was a bad spot to me. Definitely 4th down. Looks like a bad spot to me, though.
Well, 4th and a yard, but remember, it's when the part of the knee goes down and where the ball is frozen.
True.
I would have to think quarterback sneak possibly if they choose to go for it this early in the game down 7-0.
Yeah, you got to go right off the center's butt right now. You have to. Pick the gap and go.
Well, and make sure you check the right one. You want gap number 1, gap number 2, gap number 3, and hope there's not a zonk behind the one that you choose. So 4th and a yard, 30 seconds left. They're going to go shotgun. They may go hard count.
Same thing.
He's keeping it, pushing. He may have gotten it. We'll see. Yeah, he's at the 35. That's where the guy coming in says move the chains, and they will with 23 seconds left. So good call by Solomini. He just pushed enough to get a new set of downs.
Very good defense by Hillsborough too. They definitely knew it was coming, but sometimes your matchups don't work for you. And this time it worked out for East Brunswick.
And I think he went right up the middle that time, which is where the biggest push was, and ended up making the right call there.
Well, they got 2 monsters down there in the middle with number 52, 79.
Well, they're going to let the clock. They're going to let the clock run down. So we are going to hit quarter time here in Hillsborough. So after 1, as we see in the scoreboard here, it's me and Rich here. After 1, the Hillsborough Raiders 7 and the East Brunswick Bears nothing. I guess we'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll do quarter number 2 right after this.
I was going to say I miss you, Howard.
All right, we are back here at Noonan Field here at Hillsborough High School in Hillsborough. I'm Tom Wilkins with Rich Harrigan. Of course, Howard Gaber taking care of the controls as we're beginning quarter number 2. Hillsborough with a 7-0 lead over East Brunswick. They just got themselves a 4th down conversion thanks to a quarterback sneak by Ben Solomini. He's the senior quarterback who led this team, and last year he had some pretty good statistics, pretty impressive when I read. He ran for 841 yards and 10 scores, passed for 495 yards and 6 touchdowns.
And only 2 picks. Not bad.
Yeah, that's correct. Just 2 interceptions. So this is a two-way quarterback that if he gets going, you got to be careful.
Looks like they're going in spread, Tom.
They indeed are on 1st and 10, but they do a handoff up the middle, and this time Hillsborough is ready. Led by the charge of Jonathan Lobelo, maybe a yard to the 36.
Interesting call there. I'm noticing that the receivers, when it's a running play, they do absolutely nothing. They're not even running routes. They're not blocking. They're just standing there.
That's definitely true. By the way, Hillsborough Raider football, once again, we thank Milan Rose Photography for sponsoring. You can check them out for studio pictures, sports, schools, dance, gymnastics, and proof viewing. Milan Rose Photography, call them 908-369-9600 or email production@milanrose.com.
Yeah, we got to see if these guys can get the ball downfield.
All right, again, it's going to be second down as Salami is going to try and throw one into a lot of coverage, and it's caught past the midfield strike down to the 46-yard line. Great grab by Ryan Bennett, the junior, who brings it down Hillsborough territory at the 47. So a 17-yard pickup and a new set of downs for the Bears.
Great patience by the quarterback there. He found his spot, set his feet, followed through on his throw, and got it downfield as I expected.
I mean, you got perfect conditions to throw. It's a little bit windy. Game time temp was 81 degrees. But when you got a breeze like this, sometimes when the wind's at your back, you can do some good things.
And they're on a jet sweep.
No, it's a keeper again by Salamini. And he's able to get about 4 to the 43-yard line. A whole bunch of Raiders were able to slow him down, led on the part of Joey Witkoski. And I think VanCleef was also on that too.
I got to tell you, East Brunswick last year ran the jet sweeps a lot from the games that I did watch. And I think they added this to their arsenal with the quarterback keeper out of the jet sweep.
Well, remember, East Brunswick is used to playing on the road, like I said, so they know about this adversity, and they're only down 7-0, and they're starting to drive the ball. Hillsborough, of course, has a good defense. They're expected to be even better compared to last year. That's what they're saying, but remember, you have to play the game.
Absolutely, but even more important, they're keeping the defense off the field for East Brunswick because they've been on the field quite a bit in that first quarter.
All right, so on the spread, it is 2nd and 6, and now they have the option, and it is brought up the middle to about the 40-yard line. That might have been Newberger again. Newberger's a senior, and he was able to pounce his way to about the 40. So 3rd and looks like 3 coming up. Donoghue helped in on the tackle. So now 3rd and what looks to be a short 3 coming up. So if you're East Brunswick, what do you call him?
Well, this is definitely 2-down territory. So, again, keep it on the ground. Don't get too risky. Keep that clock running. You're only down by 1. You have a great offensive line. Your interior offensive line is doing a great job. You got to follow them through. 63 is having a wonderful game pancaking people right now.
On 3rd down, another handoff at the middle, but slowing it down is Hillsborough at about the 38. They're going to be a little bit short. About a yard short of a first down. So
it's a 2.
Once again, Newberger with the carry and Witkoski again with the stop.
Yeah, it's still 2-down territory. They're going to definitely go for this, and don't be surprised if they might go to quarterback keeper, or they might just give it to the back this time because they might be expecting the keeper on this one.
You know, Hillsborough might be looking for one of 2 things. Either a play fake where, remember, that Salamini could call his own number, but he could also pull the quarterback sneak. So right now you got to look at the eyes of number 3 and see what's exactly going through his mind. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But how is Salamini going to disguise that call?
Well, right now his center is the one getting him life because he's handling the nose guard.
Absolute full house, no receivers. 4th and about 2. They hand it off. Not going to happen! The charge led by William Meszaros, the senior, who came out of the gap and just shut down the running game, and East Brunswick turns the ball over on downs, and now Hillsborough's defense rises to the occasion.
What a stop by the defense.
Why don't we take a look at the replay, and you'll see how Meszaros was just right there, and like, you are not getting that first down.
You know, I was thinking that the up back might get the ball first because he would have had the first down. You give it to the second back. It's just like the quarterback keeper. It's just he has to delay and wait as he's a little bit further back.
Well, Gelino is the one who got the ball and ends up losing about a yard. So now Hillsborough, their first possession of the second quarter, 8:16 left till halftime, and we'll see what Tasetano does here.
This is a big series for both teams right here. There's going to be a big series for the Hillsborough offense.
Well, East Brunswick's defense came out firing last time. Let's see what they do.
Oh,
here's a fumble, and East Brunswick may have recovered. Yes, they did. The recovery by Kevin McMillan, the senior. There must have been a missed exchange on the handoff. Hillsborough turns it over, and East Brunswick, even though they're chunking little by little.
Yeah, we'll see on the replay. We'll see what happens. I think he just didn't have full possession of it. He didn't grab the ball.
Check the hands of both and see where they are. You see Tasetano getting in, and watch the exchange.
Yeah, so this is what happened. He clamped down on the ball rather than provided a pocket for the ball.
And that's one thing that the sophomore Jackson Jankowicz will have to learn as far as ball security is concerned.
They're going to pop.
They're going to go with a home run shot. They got 2 receivers down, and it is incomplete.
Had him. That was
Tyler VanCleef on the coverage of Ryan Bennett, the intended receiver, but that was a good try as far as Salamini trying to get the points right off the turnover.
Great call after a turnover. You want to get the momentum. You want to hit them down deep, throw them off guard, keep them off balance. And that was a great call. He just missed it by inches.
And you would have to think on the defensive side, more than likely, they would try for the home run ball first play, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Here, East Brunswick decided to go for that, and it just didn't quite work. They almost had it, but well-designed play, just thrown a little bit short. Now here's a bobbled snap at Salamini, able to catch, and he's not going to get much. He's actually lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. He took a very hard hit as he was going down.
He's fortunate he made something out of nothing because that could have been very disastrous.
Shane Powell and John Lobelo were both in on that. So it is they're going to give him half a yard. So 3rd and about 9. And we'll see what they decide to do here. And East Brunswick, they've shown some pretty good signs. We could be looking at a low-scoring game the way these two defenses have been playing.
Well, the turnovers seem to be something that's going to make it a very interesting game. It keeps going this way.
All right, 3rd and about 9. Here's Salamini. Oh, he runs into his own guy, and he's going to go down at about the 46.
Left tackle by East Brunswick got
Donoghue. And it looks like Shane Powell also got in. Shane Powell got in, and Donoghue got in. So it ends up being a 5-yard loss. And now I would have to think East Brunswick got the punt on 4th and long with 7 minutes left till halftime. Remember, East Brunswick, they have the field position.
Yes.
So if they want to corner it, they could pin Hillsborough real deep if they wanted.
Well, the thing is this now you see the impact of that missing that touchdown by inches, right? Now they're 4th and long. They didn't expect this. They have to go for it. Or like you said, they can do a quick kick if they want to, but
we'll find out. Here we go. Salamini back. They're going to go for it on this 4th down. Nope. Slip through one tackle. He goes down again. Very questionable call. They go for it on 4th and long, and it doesn't work.
I got to give the credit to the coverage on that one. That was a coverage sack because he had the time. He had a little bit of time but he set his feet, but he couldn't get the ball off because they're great coverage downfield.
That really is something else. Hillsborough's defense stepping up yet again as they are able to stop East Brunswick again on downs. They will have the ball almost like what they had the last time. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line, and Ryan Tasetano is going to try and drive his team down the field. Of course, the lone touchdown today was to Donoghue for 20 yards on the opening drive, but that's been all the scoring so far. Let's see what they do here on 1st and 10 from the 40. They go 4 receivers. They triple to left. And now Tasetano will run this one. And right, it is Monsorno with the carry, and he loses a couple of yards.
71, the D tackle again on the play.
Omar Rackley. Like I said, both sides of the ball, this guy's a force.
Yeah, the D tackle and the outside linebacker, number 8. He's very fast. C.J. Gardner. He's
well. You got to think Rackley. He's very talented, but the size really helps him, especially with his agility on both sides of the ball.
360.
Wow. Big dude. 2nd and 12 in the 38ers. Tasetano back to pass. He's got to go left-hander. Donoghue gets through to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. You can clear the area.
Big play.
Welcome to the end zone. 62 yards to Shane Donoghue.
What a big play.
What a turnaround.
That's what you call a chunk play, baby.
You are not kidding as Hillsborough extends their lead. Donoghue with his 2nd touchdown reception. He broke through the seam down the middle, and adios he was.
Yeah, they caught the linebacker or whoever was covering him looking in the backfield. He got caught, and then he just broke free. Excellent job.
And we'll check the replay on that in a moment, but I'll tell you what, East Brunswick have been playing so well on defense, but Hillsborough, remember, one play changes momentum, and we just saw it right there.
Absolutely.
So once again, it'll be Sam Meakin to try the extra point with a Tasetano holding. He made the first one. Let's see what he does with the second.
Big play there.
You're not kidding there. Here's the extra point. The snap, kick on its way. Make that 14-0 with 5:48 left till halftime. Now, Rich, you got to describe for me how Donoghue got so wide open, how Tasetano was able to find him on this Pez replay.
Well, let's go to the Pez replay. We'll see what it's all about. 81 was playing the slot there, and the linebacker had coverage on. Oh, he was blitzing, so they sent the safety over, and he had help up top. Everybody's looking underneath. He ran right by everybody. Everybody was looking underneath. They didn't even pay him any mind.
Well, and even Meekin knew, yep, he's got this one. No question about that. 62-yard touchdown for the senior tight end. Tremendous job by Shane Donoghue.
Let me tell you, Tom, on the replay, you could tell the DBs stayed in their back pedal. They never turned and ran with the receiver because they're looking in the backfield and they're looking underneath. That's why he ran right by him. You can probably beat me if I'm running backwards and you're running forward every time.
Not at Rich, not at 50 years old. I'd fall flat on my face.
I'm 57. You'll get me. Trust me.
Nah, flag football maybe, but that's another story. All right. Well, Hillsborough will kick off here after the score. I mean, this was back and forth for a while, but Hillsborough was able to break through. And like I said, I mean, East Brunswick is still in this game, but it's in their best interest that the Bears get on the board on this next drive. We'll see what happens as Meekin is waiting for the signal to get this kicked off. And there he goes. It's going to be an up person directional, taking about the 30 and plowing to about the 36, maybe the 37-yard line.
See, I have a problem with that there, Tom. While the ball's in the air, I know it was a short kick. The guys behind the guy that caught the ball, they got to run up and go block for him, man. They're standing there watching. I know the coaches are going to be all over that when they get the film during the week.
Or watching this broadcast. All right, so 1st and 10 for East Brunswick. Ball be spotted at the 37-yard line, and Hillsborough, of course, with a 14-0 lead, and we'll see what Ben Salamini has up his sleeve. But right now, Hillsborough's defense has pretty much been up to the chase.
You got to understand it right now. This drive is important for momentum. You do not want to go into halftime down 14-0 or 21-0 possibly if you don't get some points out of this drive here.
And considering East Brunswick, high snap here. Here's a handle. Oh, there's going to be a big hole. Crossing midfield down to the 47. A touchdown saving tackle by Jack O'Donnell.
Another successful trap block there.
Now, I was just going to say, East Brunswick, they need to score on this drive because, remember, they won the toss and received. Hillsborough will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, actually, not a bad call because you're thinking that they're down 14-0. They had a big play turning against that. You're probably looking for the pass. So they had no blitz on. They were probably dropping back everybody in coverage. Great call.
Well, I don't think they're going to be shutting down the run game only down 2 scores because sometimes the run game can get you some good plays, especially if you get the right blocking.
Right.
1st and 10 for the 48. Here's another handoff. Not happening this time.
Yeah, they were ready that time.
Was a 1-yard loss. Kevon Freeman, the junior, was able to go up the middle, but nothing there. Johnny Santomastaso, the senior, was able to close him down. I'm going to need to practice on that name, too. But
you're doing better than I would. I'm glad you have that job, my friend.
Hey, I still messed that up. I mean...
Well, they tried the same trap play to the left that time, and it didn't work. The guy just missed his block.
Well, that's what he tried. Remember, it's high school, and remember, it's the opening game. There are going to be some mistakes. Neither team's going to be perfect, as what we've seen so far through a quarter and a half. Here's a keeper by Salamini, and now he loses the football, and Hillsborough fell on it at the 45-yard line.
This is what I'm talking about.
Witcoski.
This is what I'm talking about, Tom. This is it. You cannot allow these things to happen. Right before the half, you need to get some points on the board. Now you got your defense back on the field. They're still tired, and mentally, they're still shook a little bit from that big play. So, and if I'm Hillsborough, I'm going for the jugular. I'm going up top again.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised I threw a little bit of a trickery in there and then try that.
Absolutely.
There is a Hillsborough player shaken up. Now he's back up, so.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good news.
Maybe it might have been an equipment thing. His shoe might have been untied. I don't know.
All right,
of course, you can follow Hillsborough High School, of course, on their social media handle. Let's go Borough, Boro.
Excellent.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Tasetano back. Oh, he's being blitzed at a high pass. And then, what a catch! At about the 45 and out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Lofting it up to Shane Powell. Tasetano was about to get flattened on a middle blitz. But what a job by Shane Powell to come down with it. They're going to spot it at the 40. That's a 20-yard pickup.
Great athletic play by number 24 because the outside linebacker read the play, but he went for the ball, and he jumped a little too soon.
Timing is everything in this game.
All the time.
Trust me, I know. It could be in football. It could be in life. 1st and 10 now from the East Brunswick 40-yard line. Now between split backs is Tasetano with a receiver on each side. Might go to run, and they will. But, look who's reading that one. They went with Jackson Jankowitz, and he got shut down very quickly.
Yeah, 57 on that one.
Yep, that's Kevin McMillan.
Yep.
The senior was able to close that and lose, and it's a 5-yard loss down to under 4 minutes left till halftime.
You know, traditionally that formation is called the brown or blue formation because you have brown or blue to the left or to the right of you, and it's on first down. Most teams know that you're going to run on that play. That's the same formation that they fumbled on previously when they last had the ball before the touchdown. So they have to be careful with that. If you're going to play action out of that, it's probably the best thing to do when you're in that brown formation.
All right, 2nd and 15 from the 45-yard line. A 4-receiver set, tripling to left. Tasetano to shot going back to the left. He'll wait for it. And
a timeout.
I don't know if it was a timeout or too much time. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Delay a game. Too much time. And and the only timeout used so far has been by East Brunswick. Hillsborough has all three with 3:13 left and a half. So it's like, what are you saving them up for at this point? It would be a good time to call one, I would think.
I definitely agree with that, especially when you're up 14 points or you're down 14 points. I mean, so. All right, here we go.
Well, same formation now. 2nd and 20 from the midfield stripe and more flags. And we'll see. It's a neutral zone infraction.
Yeah.
So it is 2nd and 15 all over again. By the way, referee today is Dave Race. Forgot to mention him. Eric Zorban, the umpire. Head linesman John Gallagher. Dale Hawks, the field judge. Side judge is Carmen Locano. And the line judge is Frank Connell.
I can tell you right now, Tom, the defense can make a statement. If they can stop them from scoring and hold them, and whether they get the ball back on offense or not, but they at least cannot let them score. They can go into halftime with their heads up, knowing that they have a chance in the second half.
2nd and 15 for Hillsborough. Tasetano back. They're coming this time. He's going to run and get through. Now he backs up. He'll be able to throw and lofts it for a catch inside the 30 and a first down at about the 28. And Shane Donoghue is again the dangerous tight end coming through.
Well, I like the play of the quarterback there. He did an excellent job. He knows where the line of scrimmage is, and he knows the clock. He knows he has time. He's extended the play, and he's looking to pass it downfield and not run first. Most young kids at this age in high school would most likely run first. This was an excellent job by the quarterback. So shows a lot of poise and a lot of control.
And I'm sure head coach Kevin Carty is helping out managing the game with this guy. This is his first big spot and the season opener against a team that won 8 in a row last year, all on the road before losing to Toms River North in the playoffs.
Interesting.
So, I mean, this is obviously a pretty well-seasoned team that he's dealing with. 1st and 10 for the 28. Tasetano going back. Uh-oh. He goes down and hard at the 37. And the sack by Derek Christie, the junior, brings him down for a big loss on the play. I'll tell you one thing, Hillsborough's offensive line, they're going to need a little time to gel because East Brunswick is finding the gaps, and they're giving Tasetano fits.
You know, I got to give more of the credit on that last blitz call, that sack call to number 22, the outside linebacker. His blitz called the defensive end to be open to have a sack right in front of him, have the quarterback sitting right in front of him.
And you're talking Ryan Bennett, who has
Ryan Bennett, right? That's
causing a little bit of havoc here on the defensive side.
Great job.
All right, they spread it out on 2nd and 18 for the 36-yard line. Again, Tasetano will take it. Going back. The rush is coming again. He's running. He's going to try and loft one. He stops and pops, and it's caught by Donoghue again. Inside the 20. He refuses to go down until he gets to the 16. Actually, the catch was Zion Harrison.
I got to tell you, Tom, Ben Samini is looking like Aaron Rodgers out there right now. Let me tell you.
You're talking Tasetano. Salmini is on the Bears.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're all in our season opening mode too. So
yeah, the quarterback is looking like Aaron Rodgers out there today. He's making things happen.
All right, well, 1st and 10 from the 18 as Hillsborough in the red zone again. Tasetano throws out the middle. Pass just off the fingertips, incomplete. That was intended for Donoghue. He just couldn't come up with it with 1:10 left in the half.
Yeah, the linebacker had good coverage on him that time coming out off of his route.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. Just as a reminder, 2 timeouts for East Brunswick. Hillsborough has all 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to use one the next play or two to try and design a play to get points before the half.
I agree with you on that, definitely. But if they could stop them here, it'll be a great way to go into the locker room.
All right, 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. This one is a handoff. Bounce off his own man. Crossing through to the 10, to the 5, and he clears the area again. Welcome to the end zone. This time, Jackson Jankowicz from 18 yards.
Excellent play. Excellent run. I got to tell you, because they've been passing the ball down the field, they've had seams wide open, nobody blitzing. They all dropped back. They were not expecting to run at all because this team was doing a good job passing the ball. And that was a great call by the offensive coordinator and a great run by the back to read the blocks.
And it's also very critical that this happened, that Hillsborough needed that score, considering it's either they've been backwards a lot or forward a lot.
Absolutely.
And East Brunswick thing, we got to worry about the pass. One missed block, and there goes Jankowicz. All right, here's a snap. Kick on its way. You can make that 21-0 Hillsborough. With 1:03 left till halftime, and Rich, I think maybe we get a replay of Jankowicz's score.
I'd love to see that.
I mean, he was dazzling here, especially bouncing off the right. So go ahead and describe this one.
So right here, they have him in the single back formation. The quarterback's in pistol here, and they've got just a regular blast right off the right hand side. Nothing fancy, but great downfield blocking by number 21, the receiver. That was an excellent job.
Well, that's Zion Harrison who had a key block there. But Jankowicz, you underestimate his speed. And you know he's only going to get faster. This guy's a sophomore. And you know he's going to be an integral part of this Raider team
Absolutely.
for a while. So you know he's only going to get faster and stronger and tougher as you see us once again the southwest part of the screen. And Rich, your first half thoughts. I mean, Hillsborough, they haven't been perfect, but they've had come through when they've needed to.
So my first half thoughts is this. It's about opportunity sometimes, right? Each team has had opportunities based on turnovers and good field position. Well, Hillsborough has capitalized on it more than East Brunswick has. That's the bottom line.
Okay, so here's the kickoff, and another short one, directional possibly, and taking about the 15-yard line. Going up the sideline and going to maybe about the 30-yard line.
I'll do everything I can right now to protect the ball. Don't try to get too cute down here. You don't want another turnover.
Daniel Allen was the one who made the stop there. So East Brunswick with 2 timeouts and 59 seconds till halftime. They're going to need to come through with something quick, knowing Hillsborough ball to start the second half.
Yeah, they have to understand that they get the ball back, and they do not want to have a turnover. I guarantee you just protect the ball, coach. Keep it solid, get to the locker room, regroup, readjust, come back second half ready to fight.
So 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Salmini in a shotgun. They go complete spread here.
Smart move, coach.
And they're going to go with a one down the field, and I don't know what happened there. It was incomplete. It was well underthrown.
I take my comment back. I thought he ran the ball.
I thought he ran the ball too, but he faked including us out. But then the throw was well short, so I don't know if it was tipped possibly.
Well, he threw it sidearm too from his waist.
So, Rich, we didn't get a chance to have you introduce yourself as to your football expertise here.
Well, they usually save the best for last, so I understand that. Not a problem. So anyway, Rich Harrigan here, and we just want to say hello to all the fans out there in high school land. Welcome back. We're ready to go. Looks like it's going to be an exciting year. Now, I have been coaching football for over 20 years, from Pop Warner to college, and now I own my own women's football team. It's a women's tackle pro football team, the Tri-State Warriors, based out of New Brunswick, New Jersey. We are in our off season. The season starts in April. We're in our second year coming up. We have tryouts September 17th in New Brunswick at Memorial Stadium. Come out, ladies. Ladies from 18 and over, you're welcome to come and try out. Go to the website, tristatewarriors.com.
Well, who said ladies can't play football? They definitely can. On third down, after there was a fumbled snap, the end of the half comes with East Brunswick with a short run, and Hillsboro's got to be real happy with that first half for the beginning of the 2022 season. Your thoughts in the first half, Rich?
Absolutely, Tom. I think right now, like I said before, it's all about momentum, and it's all about capitalizing on opportunity. And Hillsboro made some mistakes, but they did not give up any points off of it. East Brunswick made some mistakes, and they gave up points on it, and that's the bottom line.
And that usually happens. Fewer mistakes you make, the more likely you are to win this game, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Real quick, we want to thank the people from the Hillsborough High School Touchdown Club, led by President Bruce Wayne, Vice President Ernie Santorelli, and Treasurer John Van Nessen. So we'll go ahead and get you some sponsors here as we hit the halftime mark. At the half, the Hillsborough Raiders 21, the East Brunswick Bears nothing. Let's take a little breather. We'll come back for the second half in just a little bit.
Going to bed. Christmas makes me believe in love.
distant of stars. Our lives are subject to the beat of a constant clock. Sometimes, just in a moment, you feel like it turned out. is the only thing in our lives that we can't get back once it's gone.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
Going to bed. Christmas makes me believe in love.
I'm not going to stick my tongue at you, but we are back here at Noonan Field, here at Hillsborough High School. To my left, or on your left of the screen, is Rich Hannigan. I'm Tom Wilkins, about ready to start the hair again. I'll get it right one of these days. But we do know the halftime score. The Hillsborough Raiders, a 21-0 lead over the East Brunswick Bears. And, Rich, your assessment on the first half on both sides of the ball, and what do both teams need to do as far as Hillsborough to keep things up, or for East Brunswick to turn things around?
Well, it looks like Hillsborough was not conservative at all. Like, they were going for big plays. They got some good chunk plays. They were putting the ball downfield, and that's going to be their mantra. Now they might slow it down now after their first drive. If they have a good drive, just to keep the clock rolling, so they can get out of here with a win. But with East Brunswick, they're a little conservative. It paid off a little bit when they had good field position, but they didn't turn into any points, and that's the bottom line. They've had opportunity to capitalize, and they have not. Both teams have very good quarterbacks, actually, though. The quarterback play is not bad at all under the circumstances, even with East Brunswick being down 21-0. But they just don't have the playmakers that I'm seeing on the Hillsborough side just yet, or they haven't shown them yet. They did have an opportunity, though, with number 22, the wide receiver, Ryan Bennett, I think his name is.
You are correct.
And he had an opportunity to score with like 5 minutes left. I thought that was a turning point in the game for them.
I think also, if you look at East Brunswick, they turned the ball over on downs twice in a row, and then after the second time came the 62-yard touchdown pass to Shane Donoghue, who I believe is close to, if not over, 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns.
That's
and
huge.
Nobody's been able to stop him. Obviously, he has picked up where Will Dixon left off and has filled his shoes extremely admirably.
Yeah, that's huge. And like you said, the opportunities came for Hillsborough, and they took advantage of it, the turnovers, and they capitalized. And that's the difference in the game right now. And
Hillsborough is going to get the ball to start the second half with a 21-0 lead. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out for both sides. I think what we've seen is more the early season jitters on both sides. You got to get that for every team. And another thing to please consider, we have a lot of Thursday night high school football games tonight, only because a lot of places, they don't want to play on Friday and interrupt the Labor Day holiday weekend. Some places are playing tomorrow, but a lot are playing Thursday night. I understand South Hunterdon's also playing tonight, along with a lot of other places. So we're not the only ones here. So it'll be, I think, the change for a Thursday night, basically the ushering in of the 2022-23 school year. And what a way to do it, especially with high school football and a good crowd here today at Noonan Field.
Hey, it's a way to kick off it's a great way to kick off the football season, but also, like you said earlier, it's a great way to kick off the school season too.
By the way, why don't we run down real quick the rosters? First of all, East Brunswick, they're led by head football coach Andy Steinfeld. By the way, the other people involved: Superintendent Dr. Victor Valesky, the principal is Dr. Michael Vanella, and vice principals Glenn Pazinko, Christopher Yanazzo, and Russ Petrenko. Frank Malta and Jennifer Klein are the athletic directors. And we mentioned Pazinko, the assistants, are Matt Pazinko, Alan Grossholz, Dan Pike, Nick Candelario, Zach Gega, Delbin Espino, Dave Hagan, Crispin Pratt, and Anthony Savallo.
Excellent.
Now, for Hillsborough, if I'm able to dig those people out, you can't even find the backside of them. Just so you know, their next game is going to be at Bridgewater Raritan on September 9th, and the game is at Bridgewater Raritan. As far as our next home game, it'll be September. And there's a chance we might do it, but we're not sure yet. But check back at HSG Network on YouTube for all the information. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. That's the biggest thing to do. Subscribe to HSG Network, and you'll get the news on what we're doing. Not just high school football, but other leagues around. As Rich mentioned, we've done a couple of his Tri-State Warrior games for female football. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on, that's for sure.
HSG's busy, baby. HSG is staying busy and staying in the know, keeping people abreast and posted on what's happening in football, whether it's high school, semi-pro, or women's pro football.
By the way, for Hillsborough, of course, Kevin Carty we mentioned as the head coach. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I threw the paper in, but Kevin Carty's the head coach, assisted by Don Adams, Justin Balunset, Wayne Briggs, Kevin Carty Sr., Vince Coviello, PJ Jankowicz, Rocco Mazzagatti, and Brandon Wader. Interim superintendent is Dr. Daniel Fishbein, and Hillsborough High School's principal is Jeff DeLullo, with athletic director Michael Davis. The athletic trainers Michael Schiffman and Amanda Miller, and team doctor James Monica. By the way, the Hillsborough High School band, who you saw at halftime, fantastic job by them, of course, with their opening performance of the season. They are led by directors Jules Heron and Nick Clipperton. Cheerleading coach, by the way, is Danielle Claretta, who has also a great bunch of cheerleaders who have been able to put on a nice show here and leading into the second half. And speaking of the band, crazy shouts to somebody who I've known for a long time is associated with the band. Her daughter, Laura, is now a freshman in the high school.
Really?
And plays clarinet.
Excellent.
And the person I'm speaking is her mom, Pamela Weintraub, who has her daughter here at Hillsborough High School, and I've known her for a good 20-plus years.
Fantastic.
She didn't quite make it to the game today, but she's checking us out here on HSG Network, so thanks so much for your support. Keep getting the news out for all of us, as we're going to be seeing a lot of Hillsborough this year, and it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to see the band again. Of course, Laura playing the clarinet as well. Obviously, great experience for her first time in front of a good audience.
That's a great story there, Tom. Let me tell you also, I want to give a shout-out to the Hillsborough High School band, marching band, and their dancers and everyone else involved with the halftime show. It was fantastic. The pageantry was awesome.
All right, well, Hillsborough will be getting the ball to start the second half. Again, the High School Touchdown Club presented by President Bruce Wayne, Vice President Ernie Santarelli, and Treasurer John Van Essen.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't sure he was getting to, but Anyway, we're going to get the second half underway with Hillsborough. Again, their first chance to do a kickoff return. East Brunswick in white, Hillsborough in their home maroon and gold.
Interesting formation by the East Brunswick kickoff team. I've never seen that before.
Are they allowed to do that in high school football?
I think so. As long as they're on side, yeah.
Okay, well, they're going to go with the up man here at about the 30-yard line. That's a fair catch. You don't see that very often. William Meszaros, the senior, says, I'll grab that. I'm not moving. We're going to start right there.
Smart move by the senior. He probably doesn't get the ball much in these situations. And he's like, I'm not taking a chance of turning this ball over and give them the opportunity to score right off the first chance in the second half.
And that's senior leadership for you as well. I mean, you got to be smart and know what the game situation is. And when a situation is handed to you, you have a split second to do the right thing, and he did that, and for very good reason.
They're going trips right on this one.
All right, 4 receivers set on 1st and 10. And they're going to go with a handoff, getting through a hole and crossing the 40 down to about the 45-yard line. Once again, Don Monsorno. He found a hole and took off. 14-yard pickup, and Hillsborough with a great start and a first down to 45.
It didn't look good at first because Omar Rackley, 71, the 6'5", 360-pound D lineman, was right in his path, and he ducked right underneath him and got under and just avoided the tackle. I don't know how he did that. Great job.
When you get a good block, you can definitely avoid a lot of tackles. Brunswick showing blitz here on first down. The handle, slipping through one tackle, getting to the midfield stripe, and a little bit further down to about the 48-yard line.
So it appears that the defense is in position to make a play, but they're not wrapping up. They're not breaking down. They're making arm tackles. They're not breaking down, and the running backs are spitting right through their arms. This is something that it's just fundamentals that you have to bring to the game.
All right, so a gain of 7 there, and it's 2nd and 3 as Hillsborough in plus territory now at the East Brunswick 48-yard line. Looks like they're gonna go triple on the left here again. 2nd and 3 from the 48. Tasetano in the shotgun with the back to the left. He'll take another run. There's Monsorno, a big hole to the 40, to the 30. He'll get to the 20, still going to the 10 and inside the 10.
It all started up front, Tom. They double teamed 71, the big D tackle there, Rackley. They put a great double team block on him, and that opened up a floodgate for the running back to run through.
And they're going to spot it, looks like just outside the 10-yard line. If it's at the 10, it's goal to go, and I believe it. Let's see, it is. So right at the 10, so that's a gain of 37. So they put down to 6, so it is goal to go. So first and goal rather after all that. And we'll see what Tasetano decides to do here. They're going to go big. They might reward Monsorno for this. They're going very tight here. And here's a handoff. There's a bounce play and not getting to the end zone, but inside the 5.
But what a great push by the offensive line still. They got 5 yards without that guy barely getting touched.
Another 6 for Monsorno, matching his uniform number.
Absolutely. And it seems like the Hillsborough is coming out. Hillsborough is coming out with a running plan because they're up 21-0. And whether they throw the ball and run the ball, they're having success.
And I think they're focused more on running the ball, Rich. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Second and goal from the 4. They got Monsorno again. Oh, he got bounced off. He's lucky to maybe get a yard, but you mentioned Omar Rackley. He racked up Monsorno there.
He was ready that time. They had missed the block on that one. He got free reign to the running back. So
usually you run into him and you go backwards.
Yeah.
And that time it happened there for a 1-yard loss. So we'll see what the call is here on 3rd and goal.
You know, this is also a mental game. The game is not just physical, but the impact on the mindset of East Brunswick, if this Hillsborough team puts us in there, is going to be very, very, very negative for their team.
It's a game within a game, and multiple ones are going at once.
Yeah.
So Tasetano has Monsorno lined up to his right. 3rd and goal from the 5. Taking a snap. He'll take a shot, and he got it! Welcome to the end zone! Kevin Shelton clears the area that time. Inner slant, he was wide open, and in stride grabs it. 3rd touchdown pass of the game for Tasetano, and Hillsborough extends their lead.
Number one no when you're playing man coverage on the inside receiver, you don't give him the inside. And Ryan Bennett, he had good coverage, but he gave him the inside. He protected the outside. It was wide open.
All right, so Hillsborough, another tremendous play for a touchdown. And this time it's Kevin Shelton that gets involved there on a 5-yard touchdown pass. Let's see what Meekin can do for the extra point. The snap, kick on its way. Bingo, 4 for 4. 28-0 Hillsborough with 8:25 left in the 3rd quarter. And I'll tell you, they're just looking really like a well-oiled machine. Let's go to a PES replay. And, Rich, you mentioned the play. How did it happen?
Yeah, if you look to the right of the screen up top, 22, Ryan Bennett is the D and out play outside. He gets faked outside by number 14, takes the outside step, and he gets inside easily. So Ryan Bennett, 22, great athlete, but just in a bad position to cover an inside slant play.
And give credit to Tasetano. That was precision passing there, making that happen.
Absolutely.
Then you have to. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of absolutelys here during this fall here on HSG Network.
That's one for our guy Howard, who's doing a great job, keeping us on point here.
Indeed so. Well, we have. So while Hillsborough gets himself set to kick off, hopefully the air is not let out of the balloon. Just like right now, they're working on the. Let's
get a shot of that, Howard. There you go.
And
Howard, you're doing absolutely a great job.
The tunnel that the players go through, they say, "Oh, we don't need this until 2 weeks from now, so we're just going to take the air out of it." I don't think it's going to take the air out of how Hillsborough is playing. I'll tell you that much.
I like to see East Brunswick still make a game out of this. Yeah, get some points out of this.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, he has the outside.
About the 20.
He had the outside.
And he stopped for a moment. He's only going to get to the 30-yard line. Usually when you try and pump fake, everybody gets to like within a tenth of a second. So it's like you got to keep going at full speed. I mean, faking out is one thing, but you can't do it for too long. Otherwise, they're going to come and get you. And Hillsborough is too veteran of a team to let that happen to him.
Good point there. And on that return, the gunner and the number 2 gunner, the outside gunner, got caught inside. Had a return to see the outside, he would have got hit the whole sideline to himself.
All right, so East Brunswick ball. Sorry, I got people coming up the top of the press box here. 1st and 10. Here's a pass that's going to be caught, but not for much. Maybe a yard, the 31-yard line.
Great coverage by number 40, Joey Witcoski on that play, the outside linebacker. He did a great job.
Newberger for only a yard, and Witkoski, who's had a very nice game. There's an East Brunswick player, though, shaken up at about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, he was going on a crossing route the other way, and he got popped by the linebacker.
So while we break here with 8:07 left in the third, Hillsboro in command, leading East Brunswick 28-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
When you want reliable work, trust family-owned A&B Landscaping to make your property look its best. With over 25 years of experience, our design team will help create an oasis in your backyard with landscaping, hardscaping, retaining walls, and more. Our commercial customers rely on us for landscaping and maintenance too. So no matter what type of property, we can handle it. We're the company you can trust, so give us a call today.
All right, we're back here in Hillsboro. A slight delay here in Noonan Field. An East Brunswick player shaken up on the last play on that 1st and 10 for about a yard. While they're still working on the player, let's show you exactly what happened here. And it looked like it might have been somebody may stepped on his ankle
right
or
there.
something.
Yeah.
So, but luckily, he's getting up and is going to be all right. That is Ben Ehrlich, the senior. He was no, it's not. It's 22 rather.
Ryan
That's
Bennett.
Ryan Bennett. That looked like 33 in
Yeah,
front
it did
for
it
a
first.
moment. Again, sometimes these numbers can be a little tricky. So Ryan Bennett, the shaken up person, he's walking off on his own power, so that's very good news. That's not serious.
Yeah, Ryan Bennett is a key part of this defense and the offense. He plays both ways. He's a key player to this team.
And you also got to remember in high school, when you got so many players playing offense and defense, you get to the fourth quarter in a close game.
Yeah.
They become even more permanent. You wonder how much they have left in the tank. And cramping also has a lot to do with it. All right, here's a deep pass along the left side. The receiver ends up crashing. And did a flag go down? I thought I saw something on the far side, but it got ruled incomplete. The receiver just crashed into the defender.
Yeah, he was running his route, and the defensive back was deeper than he was. The receiver just ran into him.
And sometimes it's a matter of knowing how to run your routes. Josh Augustine was the intended receiver, and Solomini, he had him, but then, unfortunately for Augustine, he just ran to the defender and just fell down. And sometimes it happens.
Absolutely.
Like I said, this is and there you go again. Like I said, this is, the season opener for both. There are going to be mistakes on all parts.
I agree.
That's a little better. Solomini back on 3rd and 9. He's going to throw sidearm, and that pass is incomplete. That again went towards the direction of Augustine, but not much there. So it's going to be 4th and 9. It'll be interesting to see what happens with 7:41 left in the third. And it looks like they're going to bring the punt unit on.
Yeah, they definitely have to punt. They have to figure out a way to put some offense together to get the ball out of quarterback hands quicker and into the skilled players' hands.
All right, so East Brunswick to punt yet again. And once again, back for Hillsboro is Kevin Shelton, the senior, standing at about the 39-yard line.
Number 17 is punting, I think.
All right, well, we'll see what happens as he's standing at about the 19-yard line. Shelton waiting to return for the Raiders. High snap, but a good catch. They're coming! And it ends up getting away. Caught at about the 42. It's a fair catch. Well, they came charging after the punter that time. They just couldn't get the block that moment. But Hillsborough will get it 1st and 10 their own 42-yard line.
Yeah, the guy coming in to block the punt, he had the wrong angle. He went for the foot and not to where the ball was at.
And we see this a lot. I mean, every little thing you look at from a fundamental perspective. And I'm sure after this game, Hillsborough's going to have an extra day to prepare and to look at all the little things like, okay, what can we do better against Bridgewater Raritan? What can we do down the road to make us, this team, be as good, if not better, than last year's team?
Excellent point.
Look, I know the team was 13-0, but I'm sure if they have every game won by a shutout, that'd probably be better. But anyway, here's Tasetano back. He's going to take it on the broken play, and he crosses midfield and gets out of bounds. They're going to say the 48-yard line. That's going to be a 10-yard pickup, and we'll see it. It's going to be close. Oh, that would be VanCleef. I thought it was a juggled snap. So it was VanCleef who got to turn the ball. And they subbed in VanCleef. I beg your pardon. He's not a new quarterback.
My fault on that, Tom. I should have been aware. I got to back you up better than that, brother.
Well, I was caught a little bit off guard. But it's 2nd and about half a yard. He just was a little short of the first down. They'll triple the right on this 4-receiver set. VanCleef juggles the snap, but then there's an inside handoff for a first down, crossing the 45 and all the way down, bumbling to the 42-yard line. Shane Powell, the junior, was able to get to the 41-yard line. So it is a first down for Hillsborough just outside the 40-yard line.
I got to tell you, Tom, it looks like East Brunswick lost their tackling ability. They're missing a lot of arm tackles.
And I think we do have a time. There's actually an East Brunswick player that's shaken up down about the 40-yard line. So why don't we take a break with 6:24 left in the third. Hillsborough leading East Brunswick 28-0. We'll be back in just a moment. By the way, that commercial is from Iron Peak Sports and Events, another proud sponsor of Hillsborough Raider football, the epicenter of positivity for Hillsborough, with a facility which is a celebration of finding out who you are and empower you to be your best self. At Iron Peak, they want you to find camaraderie and a sense of belonging as they're the pinnacle of sports, events, and entertainment. For more details on Iron Peak, call 908-758-2739. You can also visit their website, ironpeakse.com, and for more details through email, info@ironpeakse.com. We return to action here as Hillsborough has a 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line as VanCleef takes another high snap and calls his own number. He'll cross the 40, bounces into a tackle to the 30, and out of bounds near the 20.
He put a shoulder in that kid at the end, boy. That was a great run. And a great finish.
And Kevon Freeman just took a shot at the very end there. So another first down as VanCleef is showing his arsenal, pretty much trying to do everything, run and pass.
Yeah, it looks like East Brunswick's trying to get to the end of the game, man.
But you have to remember, too, even though it's 28-0, the clock is running, but it will be a running clock by NJSIAA rule once the score is 35 points or above in margin. And it's not there yet.
Yeah, it just looks like the intensity in East Brunswick is not there like it was in the first half.
Well, here's another handoff this time.
And they're running through tackles. They're running through arms.
Shane Powell's just running through, and like you said, getting inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. And another East Brunswick player is down at about the 24-yard line.
Number 8.
We're going to keep it here. C.J. Gardner's the one that's shaken up. He'll be checked out. But as you can see us here in the booth on the lower left part of the screen, This has been a very I salute as well, but I got my hands full. But my thing here, Rich, is Hillsborough. They're finding ways to make things absolutely difficult for the opposition. Remember, this is a team that hasn't lost since Edison in the playoffs in 2020, and they just continue to win any way they can find it. And against this East Brunswick team, who a lot of people thought we're going to be doing some major things this year.
Right.
Obviously, this is not the way East Brunswick wanted to start.
Well, they ran into a buzzsaw with this team that was undefeated last year. Totally prepared, great system. The players have obviously bought into it. The play calling is pretty much on point. It's been nearly mistake free except for like one or two mistakes in the first half. But they're driving the ball at will on the ground. Second half after such a great air display in the first half.
Gardner being helped off the field, and he's walking off slowly in his own power. Now, you look at the opponents in the regular season. Next week, at Bridgewater-Raritan, then home to Ridge, at Phillipsburg, and then 2 in a row at home, Union, Hunterdon Central, and then 2 on the road, Somerville and Westfield. What is the key team Hillsborough needs to battle as the key date in the schedule?
Phillipsburg.
I am totally 1,000,000% with you.
They have a great program out there, great athletes, and they run the ball like no other.
And we'll mention a little bit more about that in a moment as Hillsborough knocking on the door again, second about a yard. They're going to spot about the 12-yard line. A handoff up the middle and crossing the 10, still bobbling. And he gets inside the 5, down to about the 4-yard line. Once again, Shane Powell. He's not going to be denied, that's for sure.
And is he a starter or is he a backup?
I think he's a little bit more of a reserve.
Yeah, he's having a great game for the second half here.
I can promise you. I mean, the main starter is Dominick Monsorno.
That's what I thought.
I'll tell you what, Powell next year, that job's his the way he's going. He's only a junior. So they could probably alternate. Obviously, the key people are getting the rest of the night off the way this is going. But, I mean, one more will do the trick, and they got a running clock with an extra point.
I got to tell you, I like this Powell kid.
Well, they give it to him this time, and he dives through. Did he get in? No, he's about a yard short. He's about a yard short. So Powell plunges to about the 1. And, again, keeping the clock running, under 4 minutes left in the third.
Great play calling again by Hillsborough, protecting the rock, moving the ball on the ground, keeping the clock moving. No rush. There's no urgency for them right now. They're just playing ball, and they're getting good reps for their second-unit players who are probably in there right now.
And you think about it, you don't know how much time any team has practiced, so you figure in a situation like that, here's a quarterback draw, and VanCleef will clear the area with a wide-open score. I mean, he just took off like a charging bull and easily dives into the end zone for another one for Hillsborough.
I think that was number 6?
No,
11.
VanCleef called his own number and said, I will take this myself. Thank you very much.
Good job.
So Hillsborough extends their lead. And then, of course, they'll try the extra point again with Meakin. So, again, last couple drives, Hillsborough has been pretty spot on. They've also taken care of the ball. Here's a low snap, but the extra point still goes through.
Great job by the holder there. He got hold of the ball and held it up.
All right, so with the extra point, it's 35-0 in favor of Hillsborough. And I lost that. And we want to mention again the Hillsborough High School Touchdown Club, who has made all this possible. Of course, once again, we mentioned President Bruce Wayne, Vice President Ernie Santorelli, and Treasurer John Van Essen. By the way, forgot to mention one of our other Hillsborough Raider sponsors, Norman's Hallmark Shop on Route 206 in Hillsborough, which, of course, has same-day pickup and curbside pickup for your convenience. They have a refined assortment of our best-selling gifts for all of your occasions, and it can be found in their store, including holiday cards come late October. You know, I'll be going for that. So visit normanshallmark.com or call locally 908-281-4020.
Can't go wrong with Hallmark.
Well, when you care enough to try and broadcast the very best of high school football, you might as well mention him as a sponsor as well.
Excellent. I think right now East Brunswick just has to run some plays, some basic plays. It's not about trying to win the game anymore. It's about running some plays, developing their players, getting reps, push the offense down, and give the defense a break. Give him a rest there.
And Ben Solomini, it's a rough start for him, but he's going to be a force. Here's a long kickoff, taking about the 6-yard line now, trying to reverse the other way to about the 24, and that's about it. Josh Augustine was the one with the return. Now, the tackle, by the way, was Xander Borowski, the sophomore, getting some playing time here. Now, keep in mind that with this now being a 35-point game, under state rule, it is now a running clock. Now, once it goes below 35, we go back to normal rule.
Sounds good. Sounds fair.
So, trust me, I needed a couple of years to kind of learn some of the high school football playbook, the rule book in
I'm with
the
you,
state
brother.
of New Jersey.
100% with you on that.
Hey, it's always a learning experience. I was in your shoes, so just a matter of some things that I bet you didn't know. Here's a handoff up the middle, only getting to about the 25-yard line. I don't know if you're aware of this, but did you know hurdling is illegal in high school football?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw that a couple of years ago, and now it's an automatic 15-yard penalty, obviously for safety reasons of all the players.
Well, it's all about safety. A lot of these young high school players, they see some of the college players and the pro players do it, and they want to emulate them.
And I want to also, I was going to say, and I'll get to it after this next play on 2nd and 9, as this one's going to be a handoff, and oh boy, right behind the line of scrimmage, down to the 25-yard line.
That was Ryan Bennett on that carry.
Ryan Bennett just having nowhere to go at all. By the way, Jackson Jankowicz is playing some defense now for Hillsborough. If you take a look at some of the other ones, also getting defensive time, Shane Powell. Shane Donoghue's also involved. John Lobelo, who we haven't called him too much.
But he's been active. He's been active.
First half of this game. These are two-way players that you see a lot, and they haven't been able to do too much on the defensive side, although they're letting the defense kick in at this point of the game here on 3rd down. They try a jet sweep in the middle. There's a hold at the 30 and a collision down at about the 34-yard line.
Good tackle by number 3, Jackson Jankowicz again.
Jankowicz has a touchdown run, a couple of good tackles to go along with it. But it was good enough to get to the 35 and be a first down for East Brunswick, one of the few first downs they've gotten in this game. Now maybe they can drive down the field and get some points out of this.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like right now, the game's out of hand. Run the ball. Try to push the clock a little. Push the ball down the field. Make some blocks because they're expecting you to pass. If you pass if you have to. But
Solomini just had nowhere to go, so he took off hesitantly and ended up maybe again back to the line of scrimmage.
And this is another.
Yeah, that's what I said, Solomini. So it ends up being no gain, and it's 2nd and 10 from the 35.
This is again, Tom. The game's out of hand. You want to protect your quarterback. You have a whole season ahead of you. Still, it's only game 1. I would not be dropping them back to pass unless it was absolutely necessary. Run the ball, get the defense some rest.
All right, let's see if they get one more play off before the quarter. A back to pass, Solomini throws off his back foot. Oh, and the pass is incomplete. That was right in the breadbasket of Ryan Benn. He just couldn't come down with it, but that was a good try. It just didn't work out. And we have hit 3/4 time here in Hillsborough. Right now, the Hillsborough Raiders 35, the East Brunswick Bears nothing. Let's grab a break, and we'll come back with a final quarter right after this.
Service.
Okay, we're back for the final quarter here in Hillsborough at Noonan Field. We do have a East Brunswick player down right at the end of that third quarter play. So while they attend to him, let's quickly get you aligned with a Catered Affair, which offers a full line of custom catering designs and also operates a gourmet deli cafe offering a huge line of our famous homemade salads, soups, sandwiches, subs, and grilled delights. And now I'm drawn by reading this. We, along with our professional staff and our family, invite you to stop by, call, or email to discuss every detail to make your next catered affair a memorable one. Visit cateredaffair.net for more details or call 908-874-7790. By the way, the Shaking Up East Brunswick player was Andrew Safara, the senior, who is also going to be one of the key players leading on to later this year.
And he's had an outstanding game today. Like, he's opened up some holes on that keeper we were talking about earlier. So he's definitely a key component for the rest of the season. They might want to give him a rest now. It's the fourth quarter, down by 35.
He and Rackley have been. They're going to be the ones that'll be programming that offensive line. And
yes, I agree.
And you can only imagine the emotional wave they'll be riding in 2 weeks when they finally get to play at home. Here's Salamini with a pass, and it just is a little bit out of the reach. And incomplete at about the 40-yard line. And they went
number 21.
Yeah, they went in the direction of Ryan Bennett that time. He just couldn't get that.
22.
I mean, there have been some good throws by Salamini, and just the receivers just have not been able to come through. But let's not forget, this is early in the year. This is going to happen.
Absolutely.
But the upper class teams, you got to remember, they're going to be the ones that are more than likely to execute the things at a more high percentage.
Yes, I agree. And we didn't mention the play before the quarter ended, the last play of the third quarter.
Well, we were going to mention that,
right.
But the punt is going to be down at about the 28, and that's where Hillsborough will start. So go ahead with it, Rich.
Yeah, sorry about that. But the last play of the third quarter on that incomplete pass, number 12 for East Brunswick, Marco Goudat was wide open down the middle. And if Salini just turned his head to the right a little bit, he would have seen him. But he threw it into double coverage instead. So those are the little things you were talking about. Like, you have to do these things better next time. Like, they'll see it on film. They'll probably make some adjustments. And those are the things that they can work on.
Well, East Brunswick next week plays a Saturday game at Monroe before coming home to play South Brunswick for their first home game in nearly 2 years. So obviously there's time for East Brunswick to right the ship. And you got to remember, you got to get to a winning record by a certain time to be playoff eligible. And this East Brunswick team is going to be back. I mean, you got to be impressed with how they won 8-1 in the regular season before going to the playoffs. And the only game they lost was the opener, and I believe it's to Old Bridge, and then they won 8 straight.
We had to be impressed also the fact that it was 14-0 with 5 minutes left, and they had the ball inside Hillsborough's territory. They had an opportunity. They missed the touchdown pass just by inches. This game could have been different by that point.
Well, that's very true, but remember, it's a game of inches anyway, as we have another quarterback in this time. It looks like Alex Reiling, the sophomore, is going to get some playing time. I do not have a dimensions on the Hillsborough football chart, but I will tell you he is a sophomore, and he's going to get a few plays in for Hillsborough to wrap this up.
I would tell you right now that the Hillsborough coaching staff is doing a wonderful job. They're getting these players in. They're getting time, which is very important. They need the reps, whether they're second unit or third unit. This is valuable time right here.
All right, well, Reiling is going to take that snap, and there's going to be a handoff. And look at this. Monsorno's still in the game, and he's still going to gain some yards to about the 37, 38-yard line. I would have to say Reiling's almost about my height.
So was that like 5'1"? 5'3"?
I don't know if you're saying that intentionally, but
well, we're both sitting down, so I'm just playing with you.
Anyway, well, 6'2" is me, but
I'm shorter than you. So,
right. So anyway, they just respawn the ball, and now it'll be 1st and 10 from the 38-yard lines. Are coming up on 9 minutes till time, and Hillsborough about to win their 14th consecutive game.
Oh, he's definitely 6'2". You're right. I was looking at the other guy behind him.
There'll definitely be competition the offseason next year, but let's get through this first. Here is Monsorno, and absolutely going nowhere. Omar Rackley saying, I don't think so. He's not, Omar's not going to stop until it's all zeros at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they still have him in the game, though.
Well, you also got to understand, team depth also has a lot to do with it. Do they have players that are ready to take over that position?
Well, they seem to have a lot of their starters in still. We're going to hear.
I was actually
I'm
giving a very nice compliment. I'm not sure who it was from, but many thanks to whoever just did that. Anyway, it is a 2nd and 10. The problem is they had to screen the name out, but anyway. But obviously, we want to thank whoever said this for showing the pride of Hillsborough Raider Marching Band.
Yes.
And I mean, again, they did a great job, of course, under the direction of Jules Harron and Nick Clipperton. And that's really the big thing here. So, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of them too. Of course, a couple more home games coming up, and then who knows if everything breaks right, another round of playoffs.
Might get a chance to see this young quarterback's arm at 3rd and long here.
Well, it's 3rd and 11 from the 37.
There you go.
Back to pass, going to take a short pass, and it was just thrown a little bit wide and short and incomplete. That was actually close to being intercepted.
Yeah,
the nearest one there was Josh Augustine.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of rushed it a little bit. He was anxious to get it out, and he didn't really read the defense. It looked like he just kind of threw it to where he expected the receiver to be.
And it looks like we're going to have a punt as Joey Diorio, the senior, is going to get a turn and give this a shot. Augustine's going to try and return this as he's standing at about his 36-yard line.
We'll see if East Brunswick can get a good return on this one.
We'll see if they pressure the punter, too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it may not necessarily be the best thing as, that goes over his head. Look out. It's taken him at the 5, and down he goes there at about the 6. And needless to say, that was a bad snap. Jamil Davis was in on it. And I think there was also a 52. I couldn't tell, but whatever it is, it ends up being Jamil Davis on the one with all the pressure. He was the only one coming, and then just a bad snap. And
yeah, nothing you can do there. It's just a bad snap. The punter didn't have a shot, and the fact that he didn't lose the ball was incredible. But this is why you play the game. Why you keep playing the game. You're down by 35. There's 5 minutes left or so, and you got to keep playing the game. And and this will be small victory for East Brunswick.
All right, well. Let's see what happens here on 1st and goal. Here's a handoff up the middle. That's Bennett getting inside the 5 and down to maybe about the 4-yard line. So a 5-yard pickup at 2nd and goal.
This will be great for East Brunswick. They can punch it in and at least get on the scoreboard. You don't want to go home with a goose egg. No one likes that.
Well, of course, nobody does. But I think the more important thing from a psyche perspective for those football players, something positive to get themselves ready for next week when they play at Monroe. They're going full house here on 2nd and goal. Here's going back to pass. There's a man wide open. There you go. How about that? Welcome to the end zone. That is Derek Christie, the junior, getting on the scoreboard for East Brunswick.
6'2", 170. You got good height, good route, wide open. You got to give East Brunswick credit. They could have just ran the ball in and tried to just, punch it in that way, but they're still working on things. This is the development of their quarterback, of their receivers. Great call.
And look how happy the East Brunswick cheerleaders are. They get the touchdown. They go running past the sideline in delirium. And, I mean, hey, that's good for them. It really is because, we got an East Brunswick timeout, so we'll keep it here. And like I said with East Brunswick, this is going to be a good team. They are going to be back. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're in playoff contention come the end of October.
Well, I definitely agree that they'll be more competitive than this game. This will be a lot to learn from. And, and I tell you, a few people who are happy right now are Derek Christie's parents or supporters. they're very happy because he got a touchdown in a high school game. That's exciting.
And it still counts, and he's always going to remember that.
And
That's
it's in the
key.
books, baby. It's in the books.
And I don't know if he's had any touchdowns prior to that, but this is one he certainly will remember.
He could say he scored a touchdown against the undefeated team, Hillsborough, from the undefeated team from the year before.
That is very true. You got to consider Hillsborough, of course, defending Group 5 champion, their first title since 2000. I mean, they were a juggernaut last year. And this year, hey, there are no promises
Well,
this
they're starting
year.
off the right foot.
It definitely is. Oh, and the extra point is blocked. Once it's blocked, the ball is dead. It cannot be returned for 2 points.
Oh, it's high school.
So that's a high school rule. So 4:56 left, and now we're back to regular timing rules as it is 35-6 in favor of Hillsborough over East Brunswick. So, and now Alex Rowling will have another chance to drive down the field and probably do the, shall we say, the 4-minute, 56-second drill and end this game.
It'll be interesting to see if East Brunswick still tried to do an onside kick, because it's something that you don't do a lot in practice. Like, you don't do it a lot in practice. Like, you may have time in practice to do it, but you don't have a game situation. This is right here. It can't hurt you if you don't get it. They're already up by 30-something, by 20-something points. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an onside kick.
But also, it's not one to try to be desperate, but at the same time, you want to practice it leading into next week in case you need it. Say it's a one-score game and you need it. This is good practice. So you're thinking short-term, but at the same time, you're thinking long-term.
And then imagine if you get it.
And you can drive down the field, and who knows? I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be the Titans who recovered 3 straight onside kicks against the Colts some years ago, but, hey, it's practice. Crazy things have happened in this game.
Yes. So, again, like I said, I would definitely try it. It can't hurt you.
And remember, with the way things have to be aligned, it's 5-on-5 no matter what. In high school, you can move. In the pros, oh, wait, they have 6 on the other side.
Well, you're right. You're allowed at least 3 on one side. And they have 3
Oh,
on the
okay.
side. Yeah.
So
actually, they have 4 because the one guy is on this side of the ball, number 42, I think it is.
Okay, well, they're not going to go with the onside, but they are going directional, and it's bobbled at the 26-yard line.
Exactly.
But escaping, it's Monsorno crossing midfield. Boy, he's been busy tonight. He goes out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Goes right through his breadbasket, picks it back up, no problem at all. Hillsborough in plus territory again at the 39-yard line of East Brunswick.
Great blocking, and the fact, again, why you do the onside kick, because if you don't get it, if they return it, the ball's in the same place where you probably would have missed it. So, hey, listen, it was a good pooch kick. That's what it looked like, and they had their opportunity, but they didn't stay in their lanes.
Okay, so from the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Once again, in the game is Alex Rowling. He'll be in the rest of the way. Actually, what is it, 13 might be up there now? And if that's so, that'll be Jack Minetti.
Yeah, I can't see the number from where I'm at.
Well, we'll find out here. They spread on 1st and 10 from the Bear 39-yard line. Long wait here. There we go. And a handoff. And bouncing over is Adrian Marabuto, the junior. He's the one that with the carry. He ends up getting a few yards on the play. And, yes, the 4th quarterback of this game, Jack Minetti, the sophomore. So he'll get a turn at a series here as the clock goes under 4 minutes still time, and Hillsborough by 29 points.
And it looks like both teams have pretty much cleared the field of their starters. And they have a lot of their second unit players in. Some of the JV players might be in.
This is why you tune in, because, hey, if the parents can't make it to the game, hey, their kid might be playing right now. That's why you subscribe to HSG Network for moments like this. Because it's going to be special for the kid, and they're never going to forget it. 2nd and we'll say about, I'm going to say 10. There's a handoff going to about the 36-yard line. Once again, that is Marabuto with his 2nd straight carry. And think about this. This, for some of the kids, is their first varsity action ever, period. Thursday Night Lights. I know it's supposed to be Friday night, but it's Thursday Night Lights this time around.
I'm surprised you didn't get a shout-out to one of our sponsors who provide that hallmark moment that you were just talking about.
But I mentioned that commercial when I care enough to read all the sponsors, as you well know. Well, 3rd and 7. Oh, this is going to look like a wildcat play. And look at this, crossing the 30.
And that's
Still
what I'm talking
going.
about.
The 20.
These are these moments.
Yes, indeed. That is Ryan Seaman. And he ends up getting, the sophomore ends up getting a first down. And you're right, it is a Norman's Hallmark moment. Remember, it's a same-day pickup. They offer curbside pickup for your convenience. They have their best-selling gifts for all of your occasions, including this, that can be found in their store. Call 908-281-4020 or visit normanshallmark.com.
Well, I got the big block on the outside by number 75, Joey Badaliga. He did a great job in blocking for that run out, for that sweep outside.
And Seaman stays in a quarterback here. They have musical quarterbacks. It's like the 5th one in this game here.
I think I want to get in.
Well, here's a handoff on the left side, crossing
35.
the 10. And that would be Corey Yanucci, the sophomore. That gets inside at 10, and I believe
You got another quarterback going in number 18.
Oh, my goodness. And if that's so, that's Nate Drab. So
He's probably the freshman quarterback, I bet.
now it says he's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
I don't see a freshman on the Hillsborough
I was
roster.
having fun with it. I was just on a roll.
How am I supposed to know? Hey, everyone's having fun. Obviously, Hillsborough is. Now, 1st and goal from the 8. Now, this will be East Brunswick's not stopping here, but here's a handoff, bouncing up the middle and getting very close to about the 1. Ianucci this time. And it'll be interesting to see. The question is, do they try and score or do they go to victory formation? And I mean, these are young players. When are they going to get another shot, especially if, God forbid, we have other things where teams keep Hillsborough close? We don't know if that's going to happen. We got a lot of season left to play.
I agree with you 100%.
So they'll try and score. 2nd and goal from the 2. We'll see what happens. It's a handoff up the middle, diving in. He got it!
Wow.
And once again, Corey Ianucci with the rushing score.
Put him in the book.
Well, almost, Howie Rose. With 37 seconds left.
That's what
At least I'm not sounding like a DC converter like John Sterling. But anyway, extra point coming up. And now, Hillsborough is going to call a timeout. I don't think they have the right personnel. Now, as far as Hillsborough is concerned, of course, next week at Bridgewater Raritan, which we may broadcast, that is not a given. But please, again, stay tuned to HSG Network for more details. We'll certainly let you know. And you can also email Mike Davis, the athletic director. And Howard sent me that message, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. But he's pleading for us to do as it sounds like. But anyway, Hillsborough plays at Bridgewater Raritan, then they're home to Ridge, then at Phillipsburg, which is going to be a doozy, then 2 at home, Union and Hunterdon Central, and 2 on the road at Somerville and at Westfield before the NJSIAA playoffs at the end of October. All right, so in the extra point, and I believe it'll be Meekin that will try the extra point. And this time holding is going to be Peter Cerbero with the snap and a kick on its way. He still got it.
Very good.
42-6. Actually, third, it was Adam Turab was the one with the extra point. So the extra point factory is 6 for 6. You got to remember last year, They had one extra point kicker that didn't miss in 45 tries.
Excellent percentage.
Which is just unbelievable if you ask me.
Excellent percentage.
And that tells you how important special teams are. So for those of you watching, especially in other football leagues, you need to understand how important the kicking game is. And some teams just don't have a kicker, unfortunately, in those leagues. But in high school football, you got to have that.
3 phases of the game.
Offense, defense,
special teams.
And that is correct. And then there are other games that go within in that regard. So 37 seconds. We'll take a moment once again. We'll real quick thank our sponsors once again for Hillsborough High School football. Milan Rose Photography, A&B Landscaping, Pez Electric, Cater to Fair, Norman's Hallmark, Iron Peak Sports and Events, and the Hillsborough High School Touchdown Club led the course by President Bruce Wayne.
Let's give a little shout out to East Brunswick for coming out today. And the first half was still very close. Great game for the first 2 quarters. And then it just kind of got away from them from that point.
And Hillsborough showed their dominance once again. But for the East Brunswick fans watching, do not fret. We know it's only the first game, but there's a lot of football left. And I'm sure you guys are looking forward to hosting a game at home in just over 2 weeks. Here's the kickoff, and I'll head all the way to the 10-yard line.
Good
Taking
job,
you about
man.
the 20,
Great
maybe
breakdown.
the
Good.
22. And that might be the last play of the game because, remember, it is a running clock now. It is a 35-point game. It's actually 36.
Big tackle by number 28, Jude Bergman on that play.
So the clock will run, and I don't think East Brunswick's going to come out. So as the final seconds run down, that's going to do it here from Noonan Field as Hillsborough High School comes out victorious, winning by a final score of 42-6 over the East Brunswick Bears here in Hillsborough. Your final thoughts, Rich?
Well, I got to tell you, it's a way for Hillsborough to open the season up with a big win. They just picked up right where they left off from last year at 13-0. Now they won 14 straight games, and this was a big victory here for them to come out big numbers, 42-6. But East Brunswick's not dead yet. They'll be playing Monroe High School next week, September 10th. I would love to see how they respond and they make adjustments and get back on track.
And we'll see if we're back next week for the game at Bridgewater Raritan. If not, we'll definitely be back September 16th when Hillsborough plays at home against Ridge High School.
I definitely want to say the player of the game would probably be the quarterback from Hillsborough. He did a great job today.
I'd give it to Donoghue, honestly, but that's to talk about it. But anyway, that wraps it up here from Noonan Field in Hillsborough. For Rich Harrigan and Howard Gaber, I'm Tom Wilkins. Your final score, the Hillsborough Raiders 42, the East Brunswick Bears 6. Thanks for joining us here on the HSG Network from Hillsborough High School, and hope to see you in the next week or two